All right, guys, welcome back to the Real South Africa. In this episode, we get an opportunity to talk to you, just kind of give you the viewpoint of the Real South Africa and how we see things from our perspective sitting in Joburg. All right, everybody, this is Mark Blanton, and this is
Latasha Blanton, the Real South Africa.
.com. Yeah, thanks for watching this video. We really appreciate it. We don't get an opportunity to do just a video with us that much anymore.
No, not anymore.
Yeah, we've been very busy with, all the people that are coming into South Africa, people that we are bringing as tourists. As you guys know, we just completed a real estate tour. So that was fun. How do you think it was, Tasha?
It was funny. I was actually thinking about the real estate tour this morning when I was driving, and I was like, it was such a success. And it was not only a success because everything went according to plan, but it was a success because people got the information they needed to get. They got access to properties that they would never have had access to. They got access to the people that are in places that can assist them. And on top of that, a lot of people made commitments. We've been getting good feedback about people that have actually made purchases on investment properties, actually properties they want to move to. So overall, I was thoroughly excited about what we were able to do this last time.
Yeah. So basically, it worked out, and I'm excited about it because, like I said, it was something that we created, from scratch. Nobody even heard of doing a real estate tour, even marketing directly to African Americans, Black Americans, that's almost unheard of. Normally we hear things, something that's not designed for us, but we say, hey, maybe we can go, and then we go there, and then we're not the featured client. We're kind of in the back just trying to get information. So I think it went, very, very, very well. Now, we're outside, as you guys can see, at home. It's summer here in South Africa. I hate to tell you that. I know on that side and in the U.S. side and in the Northern Hemisphere, it's a little cold right now, but hey, South Africa is always open, of course, Number two, you're going to hear a lot of birds.
Lots and lots of birds. I feel like we live in a bird sanctuary sometimes because there's so many birds.
Yeah, so you're going to hear a lot of that. You might hear a few cars going on. It's Friday, so everybody's kind of shutting down, and plus we're going to go into festive season, which we like to call silly season, which we basically a time when everybody could just relax and chill and so forth. So we kind of do the same. Now keep in mind, for those you guys who don't know us, we've been here permanently in South Africa for roughly about 6 years?
Going on 6, yeah.
Yeah, about 6 years, and we decided many moons ago to come to South Africa, after some exposure that we got, because there are those that think that we're the first ones that discovered it in some ways, because a lot of people are coming to South Africa, and we keep hearing from people that come to South Africa, I came because of you guys. Well, I'm going to say, I'm going to punt it a little bit, and I'm going to say, if it wasn't for the Blacks Without Borders, video that was done a long time ago, that we saw. Remember that day?
It was a long time ago. A long time ago. I want to say, I think the video was made earlier, but we saw it in 2008?
Yeah, maybe 8 or 9. Yeah, we saw that video, and I was completely shocked. Again, a lot of people don't realize, but was I a person that was trying to spend all my time in Africa? No. Was I even thinking about Africa as a destination? Not even a little bit. However, with that being said, I watched that video and it kind of opened my eyes. So I do understand when people say, hey, I watched your video, it opened our eyes. Hey, it happened to us too. So, we do agree with you on that part. And but South Africa is amazing. And I can only tell you that from my perspective, because of, where we come from and where we are today. But yeah, so again, we got here, we spent a lot of time here, 2011, 13, 14, 15,
16,
yeah,
on and on and on until we actually decided to, we started making our plan actually in 2013 actually.
Yes,
We started making our plan. We didn't actually make our exit to move here permanently until 2018. So we had like a five-year plan. And I think the biggest part that I want to reiterate is that we were proper tourists in this country for 5 years. And I'll let Mark explain a little bit more about what that actually means.
But yeah, let me just explain what that means, because for us, we don't want to give people the impression that, hey, there's this place called South Africa, it's outside of Iowa, and you get to just move there as citizens. It didn't really work that way for us, for sure. But we knew we wanted to come, so that's why you always hear us say stuff like, listen, come on a visit. I understand there's a lot of content out there. A lot of the content that you are seeing are people that actually came with us or were inspired by us to come. And I'm glad they're putting out content, because they are actually seeing, South Africa for what it is, not from what they read on news, or they might have read an article somewhere, or even what they have seen on TV. So it kind of opens your eyes, and I kind of mentioned that earlier. So for us, we started our journey a long time ago, and if you started yours today, your time will come. I promise you, if this is what you want to do. I would also say that visiting South Africa and being a part of the culture and learning the culture will go too far into your integration into South African culture if you want to come here on some type of resident visa, or you want to ultimately become a permanent resident, or you ultimately looking to get citizenship. It really does help for you to understand, where you are, the people, the food, everything. It doesn't really bode well to be comparing, the U.S. and saying, well, this is like the U.S., that's like the U.S., because there's a lot of things here in South Africa that are similar to the U.S., but this is a whole nother country.
And not only is it a whole nother country, because it's a whole nother country, yeah, it has its own processes, it has its own laws, it has its own governing body.
Everything.
And because you are a foreigner, you need to understand that you, and we understand this, which is why we operate the way that we do. This is a privilege to be here. It's a privilege to be here, and because South Africa is its own governing body, they don't really owe us anything. And because we don't take living here for granted, what we try to do is promote the tourism mechanism. And the tourism mechanism allows you as an individual to understand the country, to understand the culture, to understand the people, to get in a way that allows you to figure out if this is going to work for you. You're never going to hear us say, pack up your stuff and move here. What we will tell you to do is come, be a tourist, understand the difference between traveling someplace and touring someplace. We provide tourism. So with that being said, once you've been a proper tourist in South Africa, you will form your own conclusions. And that is why the Real South Africa exists, because our goal is to put you in a position that you can make informed decisions. And it has nothing to do with us not wanting you to move here, but it's about you wanting you to move here. It's about you making an informed decision for yourself and your family. But that all starts with a proper tourist visit. And that's how it starts.
Because it's not like, obviously we all travel to different places, and they have places where they want the tourists to go, and you have your fun, and they have these attractions and so forth. But you're probably wondering, because sometimes I wonder, people, how can I say it? Kind of like the real estate group. They all came here. They didn't know anybody. They were keen on just one thing, looking at houses. But as time went on, and they started talking to South Africans, they started feeling it. They started being here. Their curiosity grew, and it grew, and it got big. And now, they are seriously looking at South Africa as a destination. A lot of them had their own ideas of what they wanted to do. Before coming here, they just had a curiosity. But now they are reforming ideas that they had before for their retirement, for their, their future, for their kids. Because you would notice on this particular tour, we had children on this tour as well.
We did.
So, it's something here for everybody. but we would always encourage you, to come as a tourist, come properly. And you guys know I say that a lot, and I say that for a reason, because let's be honest, let's just have that conversation. A lot of us, when we travel in the United States, we're only concerned about getting a hotel. Maybe we might drive, we might fly in, we might get a ride from the hotel. And as far as we're concerned, we've done it. Then what happens? You kind of like try to find somewhere to go, what to do, try to figure it out. And to be honest with you, you never really understand what's going on, because nobody's really telling you where you are. As a guide is concerned, you don't really know about the food. You always just eat what you normally eat, things like that. So what you've noticed is that with our company and what we do, because we spent so much time here over the years, so much time, that we understand there is a massive difference between America and the UK and in South Africa. So what we try to do with our tourism packages is to expose you to these things. You get exposed. Let me give you one example, but there's many. Like you ride around in a city, and what you would probably do is just, what's the word? Look for familiar things. So you would say, oh, they have McDonald's. Oh, they have a KFC. Oh, they have this store. Oh, they have that store. And you would just ignore everything else because you don't know what it is. Well, when you have a guide, a proper guide that we have with us, they will explain to you what these things are, and it kind of opens your eyes. So you heard me say it opened my eyes when I first came. Then, of course, I said it again, and now I'm saying it once again. So what I'm trying to say to you is that when you have a proper guide, it really helps you to understand what you are. And then now you're starting to understand the culture here in South Africa. Yes. And that really helps. And you really can't pick it up over a weekend. It takes time. And that's where you start hearing us say multiple visits. I'm not telling you because we didn't do it. That's exactly what we did. So we started picking up the culture. So every time we went back to the States, things seem a little different.
Absolutely.
In the States.
Things in the States started to seem, I won't use the word backwards, but they seemed a little bit off.
Yeah.
They seemed off. And coming here multiple times, understanding the people, having proper guides. And he mentioned the guides, and the guides are such a huge part of you learning about the culture and the people here in the country. That's how you're going to matriculate the best way possible, when you can understand the people and his culture. Yes, they speak English, and language is a huge thing here, but their English is not our English. So
it's a British English.
So some of the words may not translate, and because as Americans we do generally talk faster, they don't talk that fast and they don't talk that loud. Those are things you're gonna have to learn, but you won't know that unless you spend time with the people that actually live here.
Yeah, so I mean, that's just one small thing. Another thing we like to do, especially for those that are on our private tours, because all of our tours are private. Everything that you're going to do with us, when you go to our website, realsouthafrica.com, when you're picking a tour and you're coming with your family, or you're coming with your significant other, or a group of people,
or even by yourself,
or by yourself, it's all private. It's all private. It's not like you're set aside and you don't get a chance to interact. Matter of fact, actually you get to interact with everybody as an individual. And what that means is that you're going to be talking to South Africans. You're not put on a resort where you don't see anybody. You don't get a chance to talk to anybody except the people that work there. And then you leave and you're like, oh yeah, I know everything there is to know about Mexico. Actually, you don't. So with that being said, so it's very important as a proper tourist to work with a proper tourism company that actually understands exactly what you need to even be in Africa, because a lot of us, we do want to come to Africa, but we don't know what to expect. There's so many unknowns. But what we do is we make everything easy, palatable, and eventually, usually after about 2 or 3 days, you like, wow, you feel like you've been in Africa your whole life. So we've found that to be the case, especially on this tour, this real estate tour. We got other tours that we've already done, things that are coming up. And then, of course, the tours that people can book on our website. I mean, they're all amazing. So, and it will give you the exposure that you need. You're not just coming here trying to say, okay, let me get a hotel room. So your first option, I'm going to go to a Marriott or a Holiday Inn. And you literally missed on a whole level of hotels that you probably should be at. But you're familiar with the Holiday Inn and the Marriott and things like that, and so you're gonna miss that because those aren't mainstream brands here in the Republic of South Africa. Little did you know. So we do everything to make it work. So when you do leave and you're watching that video on YouTube, and the people are so excited and they have a little hint of confusion because they didn't expect this. No matter what we do on the internet or whatever we do it, they don't expect it. But once they get here, because the feelings that they're going to feel, those are exclusive to those who travel to South Africa and so forth. So that's one thing that we wanted to bring to you. Number two, there are lots of people coming to South Africa, lots and lots of people, and we really do appreciate it. However, there's a lot of people that are coming that are not from America, and especially African Americans. We have a lot of people here, like this part of the year, there's a lot of Europeans coming down here because they know.
Well, they know because they've been marketed to directly. And number two, they come here looking for the culture. They come here trying to understand the people. And when they realize that it's a place that they can also relax and enjoy as far as leisure is concerned, they come multiple times. Asia. They come multiple times. So a lot of people that are going to be here this time of year is because places where they live, it's cold.
Yeah.
It's summertime here. They're trying to get their second summer, and I encourage everyone that I talk to on the phone, if they want to have their second summer, if you want to come in December, January, February, you need to book that now for next year.
Yeah.
Because those people that we're talking about, they book theirs years in advance because they want to be here. It's that packed. Cape Town is packed, Durban is packed, because they're both of those provinces are on the beach.
Yeah.
And that's where everybody wants to be.
And there's the Eastern Cape too.
Yeah, I forgot about the Eastern
Cape. There's a few others, but and that's one thing. And I only can apologize, that we are not marketed to. We are just not marketed to in the U.S. And there have been plenty of people that come to that gate that says the only reason I came here is because I saw you guys on YouTube and you guys were talking positive about South Africa, which is a good thing. And that's what we're going to continue to do. And the only reason we do that, and I'm just going to be honest with you, the only reason we do it because in our capacity and what we do as people before we got here, before we came to South Africa, we was never involved in crimes or problems or issues and things like that because of how we moved on that side. So I'm not going to come here and not move that way.
Right.
We move, at a high level, I'm going to say it. And so we just don't see these things. Are there people in the U.S. that are homeless? Oh, yes. Are there people in the U.S. that are committing massive crimes such as, what's those things called? Mass murderers. Are there people committing crimes in the U.S.? Yes, every single day. However, when I was there, because of the way I moved, I didn't really see them. It was on the news and whatnot. Did I think it was everywhere? No, I just never saw it. Keep in mind, I lived 40 plus years in the United States, and I didn't see all of that. Did I see some things? Of course. Well, I'm going to say right here in South Africa, it's the same thing for me. If I come in on the level where I was or what I'm used to, I don't really see that much crime. Is it happening? Yes. Are there poor people? Yes. Are there poor Americans? Let me pause there. There's a lot of poor Americans because it's very expensive to matriculate on that side. So let's get away from this comparing and it's like this and it's like that. I would encourage you, when those South Africans are like, hey, I want to go to America, they're assuming that they're going to a place where there's very little crime, everything is orderly, everybody's rich, because that's what they see on our television. And for you guys that are in America, they consume a lot of our content, lots and lots of our content. Something new comes out, they see it.
Yeah.
If a new song comes out, they hear it. They probably hear it before I do. So they consume a lot of our content. So like I was saying, they consume a lot of our content, and they just assume that we consume a lot of their content. As an African American, being in America, we don't consume any of their content, and even if we did, we would not even know it. It's just the way it is. So sometimes South Africans are like, oh well, there's the internet, there's 2023, and Americans should just know. Americans live in a whole different world and another part of the earth, so they're not, keen on, this location where we're sitting now, and that's what, South Africans think. So they're like, hey, we've done a great job putting together a great country. We're a young democracy. We're coming up. There's more happening here than anywhere. And they're very, very, very proud of what they're doing. So it's not fair in a lot of ways to be trying to compare it to America. It just doesn't make any sense. But you can't be an American and come here and say, oh, well, they don't have this or they don't have that. Let me give you one example. This area down here in Southern Africa is massive. It's massive. And it's growing faster than the electrical grid can even stand. The power don't go down because it snowed. It doesn't go down because it rained so hard. It doesn't go down because of the wind gust. It doesn't go down unexpectedly because of natural events that happen like they do in the U.S. It goes down simply because there are too many people moving here. There are too many companies and corporations like Amazon moving here, and it puts a strain on the grid. Now, with the grid being strained because of all of this, they at least try to manage it. So it's not like it's a scenario where we're sitting here and all of a sudden it just goes out and we don't know if it's coming back on. I.e., I live in the northeast of the United States. There's a storm, it goes out. I might not have power for 2 weeks. I mean, we both know this. So please stop trying to, I'm going to use the word vilify South Africa for taking care of their problems. This is how they take care of their problems. It's going to be an ongoing, concern. And they will solve that problem just like all the other problems they solve. But again, they want to put their best foot forward to the world. And this is our opportunity to come down here as tourists, see how they live, see what's going on, connect with the culture, connect with the lifestyles that are here. Because if you look at our logo, it has lifestyles. People here live very nice lifestyles. Not everyone. Just like in the United States. Everybody don't live beside Jay-Z. Everybody doesn't. People are literally trying to stay out from under a bridge, in the United States. But of course, they never show the bad parts of the United States. They never show that. They only show the good.
Yeah.
And I would say to you, if they actually just showed the good of South Africa, you would have been here 20 years ago.
Yeah.
20 years ago.
That's for sure. The only thing that I was thinking about too when you were talking is when we think about the tourism aspect again.
Sure.
A lot of people are like, oh, I want to invest in ... or Black-owned businesses. And I would say to you, as a tourist, your dollars invest in this economy. So the tourism is an actual sector here in South Africa.
Yeah, a massive sector.
And because the sector is so big, that sector is a huge part of the actual economy. So if you come here as a tourist and you spend your US dollars, you actually add value to the economy. So the fact that you guys are coming here in droves, the fact that you guys are booking with us, all those things add to the economy. So you're actually helping them employ more South Africans. So don't think for 1 minute that you have to quote unquote invest in a Black-owned business. You have to give the people jobs first. And you can give them jobs by just showing up. That's how the demand increases if you show up. So I would say to you, show up.
Yeah.
Show up and spend some time here And your investment in giving your time is how you're actually able to change the economy here in South Africa. And us being here every day, we're an active part of this economy.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you how active we are. First of all, we are a Black-owned business. I don't know if you noticed that. We are a Black-owned company based in the United States. We just happen to live here. Number two, let's talk about the again, I'm doubling back to the real estate tour. I'm not talking about the properties that have been purchased, that are going to be purchased. I'm not even going to talk about last year's real estate tour. I'm going to talk about the 38 people who showed up, not include all the people that came before them, the people that came after, the people that's landing today.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are people always landing. I think just into the South African economy, and guess what? 80-something% of those people are Black South Africans. So it's going to hit them somewhere, wherever it needs to hit. I know in the U.S. we need to be targeting, because most of our businesses are not Black owned. Like 90% of them. I mean, most of you guys are going to walk into Walmart. Most of you guys are going to walk into Target. Most of you guys are going to go to Subway. Most of you guys are going to walk into a plethora of McDonald's. You guys are going to visit a lot of places that are not Black owned. But then you have the expectation to come here and expect everything to be Black owned. There are a lot of Black owned businesses. You know, I'm gonna put it to you like this: there were people talking bad about the real estate tour, saying, oh, there's no Black representation. Last year's real estate tour and this real estate tour, which what we did was able to give us access to some of the top properties here in Johannesburg. There were Black real estate agents standing in the picture or in the video, and people were saying, well, where's the Black representation? They just overlooked it, but they were there. They were there, and they were assisting the people. So that's why you never hear people in the videos that actually come here saying the representation, because they're actually standing beside them, talking to them as well. But let me double back to just our impact just from the real estate tour. I know for a fact in South African rands, we probably put about, just the real estate tour, and I keep saying just because we do so much more, roughly about 2 million rands into South African rands, which is, if you want to know what that number is, take 2 million divided by roughly 18 and a half, 19, and that's what we put into this economy just over those 10 days. And the service is what everybody got. It wasn't like we just handed money over. No, the South Africans will reciprocate, i.e. they give you the best service. They give you, everything is top notch. And we're happy that we do have that relationship with a lot of the vendors here, a lot of people that we use, the hotels that we use, the top notch hotels, things that you haven't heard of in the US, or, the transportation companies that we use, because we don't want you guys, it's hot. We don't want you to sit in a hot van with no air conditioning, things like that. So, they really look out because it's our people, and they know that we actually, bring in you guys from America to do business and whatever you need to do. But you need to understand, you need to come here and see it for yourself. And that's another opportunity. So if you're calling us saying, well, I want to know what the opportunities are, I think you're looking for a catalog or something.
Yeah.
No, you need to come here, see it for yourself, get kind of acquainted, and then you will start seeing it for yourself. And we already know this because you heard me talk about 2011, 2012, 2013. That's how we found out. So it's not a secret, but that's why so many people are coming here. And now you're seeing a lot of positive content on YouTube, because now people are actually coming here and they are floored about what they see. Now, this is me talking to my South African friends, and our African American friends can understand. Listen, our people have, if it's called the dark continent for a reason, because they don't want you to look at it. They don't want us to look at it. They don't want us to talk about it. They don't want us to even, if you say Africa in America to an African American, they're, oh no. And it's almost like an emotional response. But then you say, well, maybe they could look at the internet. Trust me, they got other stuff. Our people on that side have more than enough worries to keep them busy with their everyday stuff. You know, I'm not going to get into it, but so they're busy. So you guys are like, why aren't the African Americans coming? Why isn't this happening? And trust me, we're behind a wall of hundreds of years of do not talk about Africa. Don't go to Africa. There's nothing there for you. The Africans don't like you. I mean, that is passed on. And there might have been a time when I believed that as well, until I came here. So the best thing that we could do as a travel company is to just expose Americans to the truth. And I'm gonna be honest with you, you South Africans do a great job, because when they get here, they always talk about, yeah, I met this South African. This person told me this. This person told me that.
I got their number. They told me they wanted me to come over for a bra. They want me to meet this person.
Yeah. So you guys are doing your job, and like I said, I thoroughly appreciate it, because a lot of you guys don't know. Yes, I came here on my job, but I came back in 2011 because a South African invited me, and I stayed in his house. I brought my wife, my daughter, which y'all know, Savannah, and my mother, you know, who was alive at the time. She came and had a phenomenal time. So don't let nobody tell you you guys are not doing a good job, and this, that, and the third. You have a phenomenal country. If you didn't have a phenomenal country, these African Americans would come. They would make negative videos. They would tell everybody the food's bad, and we wouldn't come back. But if you notice, at that door to return, there's always a bunch of African Americans sitting on that bad boy. Always. Simply because, you know, you guys did a good job. And let me tell you this story here, and then maybe Tasha might have something to add to it. You know, we didn't know much about tourism and what it's supposed to do. You know, we knew tourism is, you know, hey, you know, there's a trip to the Bahamas. Let me jump on that and then come back and show my pictures. But they realized, South Africans, people that were managing directors and higher in the industry, we all sat down one day at the Travel Endowment in Durban, and we're gonna go next year. So no worries, we're gonna go. We didn't go last year because we were a little busy, but we're gonna go this year. And South Africans sat us down over some wine, because y'all know how we like to drink our wine on this side. And they broke it down, how tourism, how it actually works. So I know you might be thinking, well, our tourism department needs to focus more on this and focus more on that. And maybe they do. I'm going to say this. As African Americans, and I can say it, we don't wait around for no government anything. Because if we did, we would be, you would never heard from us. So we do things on our own. So we decided to do things on our own. And, you know, I want the South African government to continue to market the way they market and keep those markets, because people need to have jobs and they need to eat.
Yes.
It's just that simple. So if we could just do our part and add on, and then bring these Americans in who are adding to the economy with buying homes, spending money at the stores, all of this stuff that they're doing.
Leaving good tips.
Yeah, everything.
By the good service that they get.
Yeah.
Your presence is a present.
Yeah. But that's how we and from the U.S. side can show that we're valuable by coming here. Yeah.
You know, so I think, you know, to your point, we talk about how we're not marketed to directly.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say it, it's gonna sound harsh, but they don't see any value in our presence. And the only way they're going to see value is if we come over here properly, we come over here legally, we come over here bringing things, not trying to take things. You come over here able to self-sustain if you do decide you want to live here. South Africa has enough problems, like he said before. America has its own problems as well, but what you don't want to do is bring your problems from America to South Africa. That is a clear way to put yourself in harm's way. And not only that, to give other Black Americans trying to come into the country properly a bad name. And we know how proud South Africans can be about their country. And the one thing
Springboks.
And the one thing they don't want is for someone to try and subvert their laws or subvert their systems. So just keep that in mind when we talk about the tourism aspect. We're asking you to come to the country properly.
Yep.
You can legally stay for 90 days on a tourist visa.
And just talk about that for a second.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, I said I was going to end this.
It's okay.
But I mean, there are African nations that are here that when their citizens want to come to South Africa, they can't get a 90-day visa. They might not get a visa at all.
True.
And so they can't come. They literally cannot come.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kenya, which isn't too far away, just inked the deal so now that their citizens can come on a 90-day tourist visa. That's massive.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, go get your passport.
Yeah.
That's the most powerful document you got, believe it or not.
$180.
Yeah, somewhere thereabouts. And take advantage of the visas that they give you. Now, you come here as a tourist. Now, that doesn't give you all the rights in the world, but you can come and you can understand what this whole South Africa thing is. You can go, come back 2 days later, they will give you another 90 days. That's amazing. You can go again, come back. So they're very serious about you being exposed to this new South Africa. And I say new because it's only 30 years old, this new South Africa. And well, next year, in a few days. In a few days, because this is December something. In a few days. And it's only 30 years old and it's new. But you guys had the advantage of living in a nation that's been around for hundreds of years. Okay? So you do have the opportunity to assist here in South Africa by just coming here and visiting and enjoy what they have to offer. There's probably no place in the world that's more beautiful than this place. I'm just telling you, there might be little alcoves that might be nicer somewhere else, but as a country in a whole, you're not gonna find anything that looks like this.
It has everything.
Yeah. So you have a choice. I want to say it. You got a choice. You can help the Mexican economy because it's closer. You get nothing for it. You know, you might get a good margarita. Yeah, I can't say nothing about that. Or you can come help this economy here in South Africa and walk away with something that you're going to carry for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And the possibility of you wanting to move here will probably increase exponentially, which again will help you and your family as the years go on. And I don't want to get too deep into it, but I would say book a trip with us. Come and get what's yours as far as the culture, the couture, and the lifestyle, which is on our shirts most of the time. And get that, and then go back home, and then tell everybody, because now at this point, you are an ambassador. For all those that have come here, especially with us, your job is to let other people know about South Africa. So is there anything else you want to say?
Come as a tourist. Come see it for yourself. Come experience South Africa the way South Africans want you to experience it and the way you need to experience it. And I say that because you don't travel 9,000 miles to look at a ghetto. So we put you in places so that you can at least see what the possibilities are for your life should you decide to visit more often. And like we say, if you decide to transition inevitably, at least you know what your options are. If you are coming to look at poverty porn, please swipe left. That is not what this is about. That is not what the country wants you to dwell on. It's not, they've had enough of that. So just keep that in mind. Come as a tourist looking for all the things that is positive in this country. They have a lot of things going on that is good. And I think that if you can be a part of it, that you actually should be.
Yes. So I'm gonna leave it there. Hopefully we'll get a chance to chat with you guys again. Yeah, it was fun chatting with you guys. Is passing information is something to talk about. Make sure you share it with your family, your friends, and of course, you know, if you find this on YouTube, subscribe. If you find this on Facebook, make sure that you follow and whatnot. I think we got like 40,000 followers.
I know.
40-something thousand on YouTube. No, on Facebook.
Yeah.
And on YouTube, we almost got 40K.
Almost.
By the time you see this, we'll be at 40K. So the movement is growing. It's a grassroots effort to connect these people in South Africa to those people in the diaspora, because I think that would be a good combination for us moving forward. So I will see you guys in sunny South Africa.
Thank you so much for spending time with us today. If you like what you saw, please subscribe and don't forget to hit the notifications button so you don't miss out on all things The Real South Africa. Thanks again.